Howdy folks, welcome back to Bull Ford 82. We're back on the 85 F-150 bullnose and got the engine back together. In the last video, went to start it and it didn't start. I was having an issue with my distributor not getting power, and I have power at the plug that feeds it. And if you noticed in part of the video, I was jostling the distributor around to get it to engage with the oil pump drive. What I think had happened, and especially after a video I watched where someone had the same issue that I'm having, what may have happened is a wire came loose off of its solder joint, and I think from that jostling it around, may have done just that. At least I'm hoping it's that, because I really don't want to put my GM HEI back in this thing. I spent $500 on this distributor for a reason, and I would like to continue using it because it's been fantastic. Editing Jimmy here. I'm going to spare you all the time I spent taking the Holley distributor apart, finding out that nothing is wrong with it, or at least there's no broken wires. However, I did find I was getting half a volt or barely half a volt on two of the power leads going to it. Those same leads, when I check them at the end where they get power from, I get 12 volts. But somewhere between the connector and the distributor is not getting power. So we're going to go ahead and put the HEI in. Alright, it's another day. Suspiciously beautiful out today. It's sunny, it's not raining. Specifically because I decided to start working on my truck right after waking up after a long day at work. I've monkeyed around with this distributor. I don't remember where I left off in the last clip, but I've got power at my plug and I've got everything hooked up. I've got the sniper set up correctly. I had gone through a bunch of rabbit holes to just make sure I have the right setting. I believe this thing is nice and actually saves its whatever tune you have it set to. It keeps all that information. Kinda, but not really. Even after you unplug all your connections and everything. So, nothing changed on the sniper, but something is wrong with the distributor. I had a hunch because of what I saw when I was taking it apart. There's a couple of weird things going on. One, if I touch a ground wire to the distributor, I get nothing. If I take my meter and touch the non-powder coated surface with the meter, I get nothing. If I touch the screws that are inside together, I get a connection. Cool. I don't know what that's all about, but it's in there the way it was when I took it out. But having power at the connector, but nothing when it gets to the distributor. We get half a volt where it should have 12 volts. Don't know what's going on there. I'm going to pop it back out. I really don't feel like taking that thing apart again. And I'd like to know that I have the option of replacing the circuit board in there and just having it ready to go. I want to keep this thing in here because I paid $500 for it, and secondly, it's been very nice having adjustable timing on the fly. Also, the adjustable rev limiter is very nice to have. With that said, I'm going to come back to it. Hopefully I don't have to buy another one because I really don't want to spend $500 and then potentially have that happen again when I got to take it out. So we've got our old tried and true, probably causes a weird idle issue, HEI distributor. The only thing I don't like about this one is this piece here, but you know, I realize this converts your Ford into a Chevy. And what I mean by that is when you get your engine set where you need it to be, you drop this in roughly where you want it to be, and then you drop the distributor and it just drops right in here. You get the rotor oriented right, and then you can adjust your timing from there. So I think that'll work. Looking at this timing gear, which has cat hair on it, it almost looked like we were a little off on the wear pattern. I don't know if you can see. On a normal distributor, you can adjust the height of that gear and just re-drill a new hole for the roll pin. I don't think it'll work on this adapter piece, so we're just gonna roll with it. Yeah, whatever. It's just a little off, a little up. We could probably fix that by dropping this down, but I think as soon as we do that, it creates a whole nother set of problems. We're gonna run it. My other hunch on this is I think potentially what happened is maybe the harness here got pinched, and just by doing one of those, wobbling it around, may have caused an issue. I may end up just sending this to MSD or Holley or whoever, because it's MSD. Maybe that's the problem. It's an MSD, and it's got some weeble wobbles in it. I don't know if that's normal. Anywho's, I'm gonna send this to them and be like, hey, you know, I've monkeyed with this. It does not power on. And if they tell me that it powers on, then I'm gonna be like, well, I don't get it. Okay, so I put my finger at the #1 spark plug port. Hit my Lone Wolf 5000 here. Also making sure it's in neutral, very important. Well, it's in the garage now. Cranked it until I got the compression stroke, which means I should feel air push out of the spark plug hole. I felt that. I lined the balancer on the 10 degrees before top center. I put a screwdriver in there very lightly and felt that the piston is all the way up. So I got that. That's our basic setup. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this guy. Now the thing with distributors is, or at least in this setup, is that #1 can be anywhere on this. It could be over here, it could be here. As long as you have the following plug wires in the correct orientation, you're good to go. I'm going to set this back up to here where I had it before. That's where I made the wires to fit. So we'll get our little gear in there, and then we'll drop this in, and then we'll align it. We'll drop our bit in there, drop this in, and then we'll just align this to where it hits #1, and then we should be good enough to fire. I could be wrong, but that's what we're going to shoot for. Lock that in. We can rotate this wherever we want, quite a bit of ways. Cool. I do have these marked. So we've got #1, #4 goes there, #3 goes here, I think that's correct. We got a #2, #3 goes here, and then we have a #5, #8, we got a #7, we got a #6. Cool. That's that. All right, I'm gonna work on this wiring, and I'll take my keyed wire and run that to a connector, plug that in, and then we'll go to the sniper and we'll get on the display and change this over to change the distributor settings. Crisis averted, part 32. Hey, there we go. When I took out the coil driver, I deleted the key on thing. So we need to go to wizards. Yep. 8. Now we're 306. If I put it less than 306, it does not run right. watch it not run right. I should probably look at my I need to hook up a tach because it needs to know tachometer, stock mile, no power adders, coil minus. I think it's coil minus. We'll double check. Let's fire it up. Let's see if it will fire up. Uh-oh, do we have our 180 out? Okay, it is doing something. We're seeing RPM this time. Let's go. That way. Okay, here I'm just fiddling with the distributor to see where my timing is while it's running, even though it's not warmed up. After this clip, I let it warm up to about 180 degrees, almost 200. Let the EFI idle down to the lowest point that it'll go, and then I went in and adjusted my distributor to get the timing that I wanted, which is 15 degrees, and that also let the Holley Sniper kind of settle out its idle air control valve. And from there on, I had it perfect. And so far, it has stayed perfect. So, I'll bring it back when we're done. Okay, idle's a little high, but I have the... still warming up. So the EFI is going to hold the RPM around 900 to 1,000 to warm it up. And it ramps it down as it comes up in temperature. I'm still bleeding the coolant off. It seems like it's full now. Because I did put in what I took out. I'm going to probably just throw some water in that jug and let it pull from it as need be, and we should be good to go. Running at 900 RPMs, I had the timing around 15 degrees, which is what I was wanting. But we need to let it warm up even more, get to operating temp, and let the EFI bring it down as low as it'll go. I might have to make some adjustments with the EFI as far as the throttle blades go. I might have to bring it down a little bit because I want to get my idle air control around 5 to 7% usage. Let me show you a little thing here. So this factory cable has a couple of splices in it. This one here goes to a little capacitor that's would normally be on your regulator, but it's mounted on the fender over here. That's just a noise suppressor. Okay. Here you have your cab power and another accessory wire, probably the charging light wire, and then it's just battery cable from there. I'm gonna go to the auto parts store and have them make me something this exact length with eyelets on it, and then what we'll do is wherever these wires land in a nice spot, we'll just trim away and then we'll solder that onto the wire, and then we'll heat shrink it and whatnot. Call that a day. So we're gonna go get a new piece for that. I'm almost thinking actually I need something longer. I need something custom made, unfortunately, because we could also just come here and go right to our battery here and just use this piece. We could do that, but what I don't like is having another cable right across. We could go. This could work. Actually, this could work. I don't need to go to the auto parts store. I'll use what I already bought. Never mind. Oh, I could shore this up. So there's this one here. So you've got, let's see, what do we got here? This green with a violet stripe. We'll need to go to battery. I'm actually going to cut this off, get rid of one wire there, and then loop that onto the back of the alternator because it just needs battery power. That'll actually take a terminal off here. So the yellow with the white stripe needs to go to this green wire down here coming off your harness. This is your this is a keyed ignition switch wire. That'll turn your alternator on. And then you have the green with the violet stripe needs to go to battery positive. This just loops around and plugs into the little single pin connector in your deal. And then you got a 3G alternator in your 85. This starts up a lot quicker with the HEI. It doesn't have to sync. We're coming down on idle. We're at 21% IAC. 120 degrees. We're heating up pretty quick. I got target idle speed set to 700. So once it gets to 160 degrees or 180, it should settle on that, and then we'll make some timing adjustments, change the oil, top out the coolant, and I'm done with this part. It's running at 700 RPMs with the AC running. Yeah. Exhaust smells pretty good. That's kind of a thing. We got cool air coming out of the dash. We're at 160 degrees. We're at 23% IAC, and then it kind of teeters around 12 and 13. It's probably I'm gonna roll with that. It's running really good. It might be hard to see, but I'm running at 15 degrees timing. So far, so good. Just went and took it around town. I had to go check out a friend's project for a hot minute. Went and mowed a yard. I'm back at the house. This thing has not given me any issues. I still get that whoosh noise when you get on the throttle, but I think it's air passing the throttle blades or the idle air control valve in the sniper. But I'm not smelling exhaust from the intake anymore. It's not leaking so far. Cheers. It's just water. Let's change the oil. Ugh. Let's change the oil. I've got a filter. I've got some zinc additive, and I've got some oil. It's actually from my dad's truck, but we didn't change the oil because it was like brand new, so I guess I'll have to buy him some oil next time. But we're gonna use what we got laying around in the garage, and we're almost ready for Gambler on this thing. I got a few other oddball things, but this was a big thing that I had to take care of. Currently draining the oil right now. It is almost like water. Not that we have coolant in it, but this thing's at 200 degrees operating temp, so that oil she's up there. It was a little steamy. I think it's because it was burning off a little bit of coolant that got in there. That's why we're changing it. So yeah, gonna change her out. We'll see if we have any gold flakes, metal flakes, tin foil, part numbers, stuff like that. I just have fresh oil in it just because I know that we took the intake off, and well, fresh oil never hurt anybody except your wallet. And I changed it in March at 153, 356. Yeah, I only got like 1,500 miles or something on it, so it's kind of a waste of oil, but better to have fresh oil and no coolant. No coolant in your oil. That's, yeah. You know, I do kind of miss my old truck. The old 4BT truck. But what I don't miss is how lifted it was. Which is why I did the TTB swap on this, which is what I wanted to do with that truck to begin with. Just so it wasn't going to be lifted up so tall, but I kind of like the way it looked with the solid axle. But I had a lot of issues with that swap. Track bar issues, and cost so much money to do. I TTB swapped this for $175. And I got 373 gears. But this has been a really good truck. I've been really happy with this truck. I'm glad I bought it from the junkyard. I've had to put a lot of money into it because some of it was my fault. You know, blowing up the engine. But it's okay. We have a better engine, a better 302. Fresh build, cam, bigger pistons, Sniper EFI. It's been a really good setup. With a 5-speed and air conditioning, air ride in the back, and Bilstein shocks. Sway bars, front and rear. Took this truck out on the beach. This thing does great on the beach. 4-wheel drive, open diffs, front and rear, just air the tires down. Had no problems driving on the beach. Drove really nice. It's not going to be very legible. It's a black filter. I normally get motocross, but I didn't want to drive all the way out of town just to get a filter. What do we got? 06, 05, 24. We can even write the mileage on it because we're clear-headed today. Okay, you can kind of see it. I put 06, 05, 24, 154,000 miles, 598. 154,900. Oh my God. $154,598. The other reason for changing the oil is because this thing has potentially been running a little off, maybe a little rich. I want to change the oil because it is kind of dirty, you know, because, you know, yeah. Anyways, we'll get some hot oil on here. Wipe it on the thing. I'm not going to pre-fill it because I'm not. We got our mystery $6 bottle of goo. Just going to pour that down the gullet. It's like not going down the funnel. Pour some oil in, give it some pressure. Computer is actually still learning because it was unplugged. Oops. Well, good morning, tubes. Almost noontime. We're still in the same video. I figured I'd do this. I'm taking a load of scrap metal in. the bed sides from that truck. You know, I had up for sale for a little bit just to see if anybody wanted them because the sides were still good. Not the inside, but the bed side, the outer skin was still good. Had it up for sale. Nobody had any interest. Tailgate's all messed up, so we're throwing it in the truck. We're gonna take her in. I've got some other stuff that was laying around the house, like stuff over here. I had stuff in the backyard, so rounded it all up to kind of clean this place up a little bit. And it's going to the scrap. And then I've got a friend has a bunch of stuff that she wants gone, so I'm gonna go pick that up. And then once we're all loaded up, I'm gonna give the airbags a little whiff, lift up the back end so we're not sagging, and we're gonna go take this in. So I gotta go over to my friend's, pick up the stuff that she wants to get rid of, and then we gotta put some gas in, and we're gonna go for a small little road trip. Small little? Yeah. Anyways, that's the plan for the end of this video.
$46. I've made 16. Oh, no, you don't. Flying dangly legs. But that's okay. That was stuff laying around the house. Plus some other stuff my friend gave me. You know, I'll take it. We gotta get out of here. The flying dangling legs are coming out. This truck so much. So I still have that like sort of a hissing noise when I accelerate really hard. I think I know what it is. The air cleaner spacer that I have on this truck or this engine has 2 slots in it for a Holley carburetor for like the choke linkage. I think it's making that noise because my intake, my air filter, is a restriction. So I might end up building an air intake for this truck at some point, just so I can get more air in. I think that's what that noise is. But that being said, it means that my air cleaner, even though it's taller and a little bit more free flowing than the paper element that I had, it's becoming an issue. So we'll have to fix that another day. Oh, gotta shift. And I need to get a Flexolite fan for this. These electric fans are working okay, but with the AC on and almost 80-degree heat, she's not too happy. So, with that said, there's still a few things left to do, but we'll do that after the Gambler. Well, back home. It's a lot later in the day. I had to go run up and help my friend with a Willys Jeep that we've been working on for a while now. I actually have a video on that that I started last year and haven't finished it yet, but we'll soon. But anyways, the bedsides from that truck we scrapped today because I'm gonna start cleaning up this side of the house here. Canopies, got to go back on this for a Gambler, which is going to be in a few weeks. So I got some more stuff I want to do to the truck here. Other than that, truck did great today. Ran the air conditioning on the way back home when it warmed up, and that was very nice. Believe it or not, it does work, as I showed earlier. It's not the best because I just filled it up with some R134A and left it at that. R134? Yeah. Anywho's, that's it for this video. I'm gonna go inside, take a shower, and edit this video, and I have another video to edit. Other than that, I'm done, and I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.